So these are probably my favorite high heels. They're from Target and they are old. As you can see, very, very old. It's so incredibly comfortable. But I was slightly embarrassed the last time I was wearing them because they just look so bad. So, I was trying to figure out something to do with it. Like, look, it's scuffed up in the toe from sitting cross-legged. I also have a pair of flats. Bought these spontaneously in Las Vegas. Needed a pair of comfortable walking shoes, and as you can see, they definitely got their money's worth. I don't even mean that sarcastically. They were only like $30, I think. But I love the beading. As you can see, some are missing, but if I can figure out a way to put some of that on these, I think we could create a decent shoe. And if not, I just need to buy a new black pair. So I decided to just time-lapse this to make it faster and a voiceover so that I wouldn't have my child screaming in the background. Basically, I started with the flats, and I just started tearing them apart, taking them apart layer by layer. And this is Gray. She is my rescue kitty. Her and her sister are from my place of work, and she likes to scope out the window every now and then. I go back to, cutting apart the shoes. It was actually kind of interesting seeing how they were made and flipping them basically inside out. And, okay, bye. Okay. And now we're back to putting them on, and here we go. I'm working on the second one now, it looks like. Taking it apart, just ripping out the flat piece, and then cutting the jewels away from like the leather lining, like the foundation of the shoe, and we're done. Just kidding. I wish it would have been that easy, but they didn't fit quite that well, and a lot of areas that were damaged were still exposed, so I kind of noticed that at least the front part would fit, and so I started just trimming and figuring out a design that would match both shoes and just trying to get it to fit, to use the most of the fabric that I could, and really just make the most of it, because obviously slightly limited, and in a few of the areas on the flat shoes they were missing some of the jewels. So in retrospect, I wish I had done a few things a little differently, but it was still a fun experience, and I still ended up being able to save a really comfortable pair of shoes and just kind of giving them a little facelift to get me through the rest of the winter and until I feel like buying a new pair. So now you can see I put down that first layer, or the first lining piece, whatever you want to call it, wrapping the toe, and it did fit really well. The hot glue, I'm just cheap, and both these shoes are falling apart, so I figured, I'm not going to use high quality material here because this is really just a BS craft project. Yeah. And it just continues on. Just making sure everything was flat and trimming some of the extra fabric off so that I wouldn't slip or trip on it. Gluing down more of the edges. I really wanted to make sure that nothing was creeping up and would itch my heel or the sides of my feet or anything too. As you can see, I am just really trying to make the most of the pieces and where the most damage was on the shoe. And this just continues on for a little while, and I'm not going to talk the whole way through. You can leave questions down below if you have any. Yeah, all I needed for this was the two pair of shoes that were both falling apart. Like I said, the heels were from Target many moons ago, and The flats were from Vegas. Yeah, I mean, you saw the holes in the bottom of the flats. I really couldn't wear them out much anymore. And so, one free afternoon led to this. But it was fun. And it's something I want to actually do again, I think. But I think I would take, like, more preparation, and I think I would do, like, a better job. Because I would want them to be cooler and to be used more than these will be used. And almost done with the one. And moving on to the second shoe, pretty much the same thing. Here we go again. And as I had gone through like the first shoe and moved on to the second shoe, I had figured out a couple of things on the first shoe that would make it a little bit more efficient and easier for the second one. So it was just like I said, BS craft project, but it gave me a little bit of practice and some knowledge. So basically here, as you can see, like, I kind of wish I would have left them at this point, but the heel itself was still really scuffed up and just noticeable. So I took some time and some of the extra jeweled fabric that was left, I snipped, and that's what I'm doing in here. Like, you can't even see it. I was literally like gluing single jewels in place to just fill in some of the spots where your jewels had been missing. And then, like, I decided I still wasn't super happy with it. Some of the sides of the leather just were still damaged and showing. So I found just some regular black fabric and decided to just kind of fill in the other pieces, like where you see the matte leathery fabric black, and just put regular black fabric over it to cover up like the peeling and to prevent it from continuing to peel, because it's not black underneath, it's like a weird gray, it's just bad. And yeah, the whole heel was scuffed up still, so I just did the same thing on the heel. Yeah. And like I said, in retrospect, wish I had left it and figured out something else. But they're still usable, they're still incredibly comfortable, which was my main factor. I hate shopping for high heels, and when I can find a pair that are just like I could live in, I don't ever get rid of them, no matter how bad they get. And so this was just my way of updating them. And as you can see here, they are done. So if you like were to zoom in, you could definitely see where some of the ickiness is. But you know, from far away, they're not bad. People are gonna just see me walking, so I'm gonna be moving. You know, they work. And they definitely work great with pants.